Welcome to CGT REAXX.
What up? What up?
Today we are reacting to Is It Ever Too Much Makeup by Middle Ground. Now this video probably old.
It's not
to
Middle
some
Ground. Is
people.
Jubilee and Middle Ground the same?
Mhm.
Oh, it is. Okay.
His video is kind of old, but I've never seen it before. So I'm going to react to it.
Yeah.
For me, honestly, putting any amount of makeup on my face is too much. Excessive contouring, where girls literally look like they're changing the bone structure of their face. Like, that's talent, but like also that's not you.
I'm passionate of makeup because it allowed me to showcase to the world at a very young age the woman that I always was.
A lot of people think just because I wear makeup, I'm really stuck up and I feel like I'm the best at everything. We're just normal people that like to look good in person and just look good for everyone.
I think that the beauty industry really prioritizes Eurocentric beauty standards. Even in pursuit of trying to be beautiful and love myself or be loved by others, I will never fulfill those Eurocentric beauty standards.
I stopped wearing makeup either during my freshman year of college.
You do know that most of the makeup industry is owned by men.
Yeah, I know.
Especially the biggest companies.
I
Or
know.
my sophomore year of college. And I feel more like my authentic self when I'm not wearing it.
People say it's too much or try to say they're gonna wipe it off or, just judge you for wearing it, but maybe don't know why you do.
My mom expected me to just always look dolled up. That would be her idea of looking beautiful. I think that kind of turned me off a little bit from makeup, and I just like how I look naturally.
People they know already like weird.
Yeah. Kind of like
Mad bias.
it's mad biased, but it's also like kind of like corny in a way where, like, in the world that we live in, it's just kind of like the people who you already would pick, as if like these are the only people who represent makeup.
Right. I should have put my grandma on there. She wear makeup every day.
Shout out
Shout out to don't say my grandma.
Bay Area, and I can't wait to learn your guys' opinion about makeup.
My name is Chris and I'm so excited to talk with you guys about makeup.
I'm Lademi, and I'm excited to debate with you guys.
My name's Theo, and I'm excited to have this conversation with all of you guys.
Hi, my name's Bryn, and I'm just excited to hear some different perspectives.
Hi, my name is Alina, and none of my friends really wear makeup, so I'm excited to see what everyone thinks about it and where their opinions come from.
Women are oppressed by today's beauty standards.
Yeah, I feel like they are.
You feel like women are oppressed?
It preys, or it being the beauty industry and the cosmetic industry, preys on the insecurities that women and men as well feel, for example, with aging. Wear this foundation, use these eye creams, do this, that, and the other thing, so that way you don't look like you're aging. And I think that the aging process is a beautiful thing, and it should be celebrated, and it just shows like all of the life that you've lived, and our skin and our faces, they all tell a story. The way that I see it oppressing women and men alike is shaming them into thinking that they have to present themselves in a way that's
Everybody who
deemed
talks-
the ideal or the standard.
Everybody who talks in that pattern, they always have like the same posture. Like they always hit like a slouch and then be like, they talk and then they end their sentences with like a question type tone. Like posture.
So and
I think the sole fact that there is a beauty standard in general is just so damaging because I just see beauty in a lot of people. There shouldn't be a standard for your natural self that you are.
I don't necessarily think beauty standards are oppressive, but I think sometimes they're unobtainable. So for example, like I've always struggled with acne scars, and I was like looking on social media and everybody's skin looks like so even and so clear, but then I learned that there are a lot of filters that will actually do that. Like I only discovered this 2 months ago, and then I used one and I was like, wait, now I look like everybody else. And I thought everybody just had like beautiful poreless skin and I was the only one left out.
When you guys will post like your makeup look, do you guys use filters on them?
I've always been open with all my followers that I edit my pictures and Facetune them just because it just gives them that extra like feeling to the picture, but not like enhance like nose or eyes or anything like that.
That's the same thing. I smooth the texture. Unless you see me in person, honey, you're not gonna see these scars or this texture or anything like that. I'm gonna filter it out. But sometimes filters are clearly, it's obvious. That means you filter. So I would hope that someone doesn't think that I look exactly like this because it's clearly a filter.
If it's becoming too challenging being online, seeing, you know, the different types of beauty that's all over the world, then maybe social media is not for you right now because you're still discovering who you're meant to be. I used to be, had low self-esteem, so I was really crazy with like, you know, the photoshopping and everything. And as I grew into myself, I just grew to love. But as far as filtering like my makeup looks or whatever, there's always going to be a little smooth here and there. A woman's hair is full of secrets. Smoothing! Smoothing! Do something. Always need a little smooth here.
I guess the reason why I asked that question is because in a lot of like makeup ads, they'll do the makeup look and then change the makeup look in Photoshop. But it just seems like it sets unrealistic expectations, A, for the product, and B, what it's going to make you look like.
Agreed.
Makeup has changed how
Bro,
I'm
I bet,
treated by people.
I feel like she'll punch you, bitch. I don't know why. The girl who was talking. Yeah.
Pre-COVID days, I love to go out to dance and stuff, to go to the club. Just men tend to just give me a lot more attention when I'm wearing makeup. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel good to me. And I swear, when I'm not wearing it,
I've noticed over the years, like a different type of man would approach me depending upon if I have on makeup or how my hair is done. Like if I have when I used to wear like weave, the type of guy that would approach me when I had an afro. When I'm mostly natural now, like it's
What happened? Yeah, I
he has a
splinter.
splinter in his toe.
Well, let's finish this video. We got 20 minutes left.
Walking outside, grounding.
not a peep comes, no one comes my way. I think I like the latter. I like no one coming up to me, or they just come up to me just because they like my energy or something like that. But I've just gotten different treatment for wearing makeup, and it hasn't ended positively sometimes.
Since I am like all over social media and like TV and stuff, when people expect me to show up and show face, they expect to glam and they expect the makeup. And if I do show up without any of that, it's just like no one, it's like, where's the star? Where's the star power? Where's La Demi, you know?
I kind of feel the same way on social media. All I have on is makeup, and then on my normal days, I'm like just a regular boy. So when I go to like Sephora or makeup shopping, they're just like, oh, is he gonna steal something? Because, you know, that's what they mostly think of when you're not like in full glam or you look bummy. Oh, he's gonna steal something because he's looking suspicious looking at the makeup products. But once I like go in with like a full face, they kind of leave me alone because I'm going back to that point where, oh, he knows what he's doing because he has a full glam.
I don't know if you've read about the attractiveness bias, but it's the idea that pretty people are like perceived as like more welcoming, more educated. So I've definitely gone into interviews or like heard my employer talk about people, and it's not that they'll say like, oh, she wasn't wearing makeup. They'll say like, she didn't seem as ready, or like she wasn't as put together. I used to only wear makeup pretty much for interviews or if I was on camera. I didn't want to give them a reason to not hire me.
I used to wear like a lot of makeup. I was never good at it. Like, oh, you guys look amazing. I was never good at it, but I used to wear a lot, and then ultimately at some point the makeup comes off, you know, and beneath that you're still you. It's not easy to accept that sometimes. In the moments that I was kind of transitioning to not really wearing anymore, I really didn't notice any difference in the way that people treated me. Maybe that's just because the people that I'm surrounded by are really accepting, and I know that that's not the case for everyone else.
I'm trying to love myself without makeup in kind of my default state, I guess, and makeup certainly makes me feel very like empowered and beautiful, but then I almost like resent myself more when I take it off. So I don't know like what that's been like for you.
I'm a confident person, so I can still go without and still feel for her.
It's definitely like a superpower. I always say makeup, because when I'm in makeup, I just feel like I have a cape on and I can do anything. And without it, it kind of humbles me down to maybe not be that person in the room to ask a question, or it's kind of like my backup dancer.
Yeah, I agree with Latemi. When I have makeup, I just feel like I could conquer like the whole world, and I'm just like that person that can do anything. That's like the main reason why I go into makeup, because it just makes you feel good.
To a sense, wearing makeup, you kind of have to be confident. For someone that puts makeup on to feel good about themselves or whatever, but at the same time, you need to be confident because it's gonna attract that attention.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because I think like for a long time, like when I didn't wear makeup, I would be like, I feel so bad that people have to look at me. When I choose to wear makeup, it's not because I feel confident, but I'm almost like, can this make me feel confident? But objectively, I look better, like I look brighter, and so in the moment of being transformed physically, maybe emotionally, I can say like, let me go out into the world with more conviction. As much as makeup empowers me, I also want to be empowered in my authentic form as well.
Right.
If you want to win the battle,
Good.
If you want to go full throttle,
Out it. And feel good with it. Feel the same. It should make you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know women who literally go to bed and wake up and makeup, go to bed and lashes. Wake up and lashes.
Lash game, lashing.
Bird eye view. Yeah. They don't wanna.
Look at this little beautiful black girl right here, though. On a fucking commercial, bruh.
She's so pretty.
Her skin glowing, no makeup. Y'all ain't doing something right, bruh. Y'all doing something wrong.
Felt uncomfortable leaving home without makeup.
I
When I
have
was
felt
younger.
I have felt uncomfortable leaving
I
home
don't
without
feel
makeup.
uncomfortable about leaving
Yeah.
home without makeup now,
Back in the day,
but I
when I
think
used to live
it
this
took me
weird.
a while to get to this point.
Like,
There's
literally
still a
to the
part
point
of
of
my
going to
brain and
somebody
my
else, like,
subconscious
this is not
that's
how
like,
I usually look.
well, maybe just a
Fuck my
little
phone,
bit.
like, this is how I usually look.
Maybe just a little something. Back in the day, it was more based on just insecurity that I wasn't good enough without any makeup. And now I think I've worked pretty hard to get to this point.
Sometimes for me, I do feel uncomfortable because, I just want to have like nice skin like out in public, or like a full glam out in public. But sometimes I don't want to deal with like people just staring me down, or like little kids coming up to me and be like, why are you wearing makeup? That's for girls. So I just sometimes don't even go out with makeup that much.
When I started to wear makeup and I was, being perceived to the public as a woman, without it, I wasn't, So it was like really hard to adjust to even leaving my house without a lash, without an eyebrow, without some kind of lip gloss or blush or something to give me that touch to feel like, I'm not going to get misgendered out there in the world. I am trans, and I definitely know what it feels like to not be able to leave the house without something to validate me as a woman to society.
I think the only time I used to regularly wear makeup is like if I thought I'd see my ex or something like that. But also when I was going on a lot of first dates before I met my girlfriend, it would pretty much be the only time I'd wear makeup. Like I wouldn't wear it to work and I would come home and put it on. But then I started to realize like these people, like if it goes further, they're going to see me without makeup, and I'd almost rather have them know that up front. And actually, the first date I went on with my girlfriend was like one of the first dates I didn't wear makeup because I just felt like I trusted her. I just knew that I could trust her.
So funny to like bounce off of that. I went through like a phase too where like I would like spend the night with a guy and I would not take off my makeup. Like I would sleep with my makeup, and even like 10 minutes before like waking up, I would run back to the restroom, touch up, put on the lip stain, so I would wake up like
Like it was,
like just like
Natural faced all the time and don't feel insecure about man. Natural face. Because you pretty much encouraged me when I met you to like not wear as much makeup.
Encourage is a weak word for it, but
Encourage?
I probably demand it. Like, I hate makeup.
Not demanded.
I feel like the average man in reality hates makeup, especially if he's actually attracted to you. Like, if a man is actually attracted to you, that don't fucking matter, bro. Honestly, like
Yeah,
the
but I
makeup
pretty
and
much went from
on
wearing
and off,
makeup
but
like a lot to now I probably wear it like once a month. When I just feel like
coming
I don't
from
know,
a man's
like doing
point
it.
of view, that's kind of like interesting because it's like, why the fuck? First of all, I can understand why certain people feel like that because certain people are in a mental position to where like the guy over here who was just telling his story about like, you know, wearing makeup overnight at somebody's house and some shit like that. And then the girl was like, she went on a date. It's just like, it's such a big difference between even like, okay, the lifestyle. I don't even know how else to say it, bro. I just feel like it all goes back to the lifestyle, bro. Like, if you really don't plan on somebody getting to know the real you, then you not really gonna even be thinking that deep about like how you present yourself to them beyond
A superficial
how you
way.
usually.
You're a representative, as my mom said.
Yeah.
You're just gonna bring your representative every time, not the real you.
And that's why I just like one of the main things that women say they're attracted to in men is confidence, but they don't even understand like vice versa. Like that's some real shit, bro. Like if you're not confident in the way you look as a woman, then as a man, it's like how can I respect everything else about you? Basically, it says a lot about you. Basically, it says that you just want to present something fancy, basically, and you really don't give a fuck about what's going on internally
Inside.
or even in your own home, basically. So yeah, that's what
Oh
that
my god,
says.
there's something I read the other day. It was like, a woman be beautiful as fuck, house nasty as fuck. I was just like, bruh.
Exactly.
People want to come out looking so fancy, so clean, whole house be trashed. Come on now.
And that's the point, bro. We live in such a crazy world, bro. Some people don't even got houses, but they look pretty and they feel proud. So it's just like, I mean,
Homeless and cute.
it's okay. You should be proud of how you look. Proud of how you look, either it's with makeup or without makeup or whatever, however the routine you got it. But make sure at the end of the day that you know the system is corrupt.
I just feel like
Fuck the bullshit.
you-
Fuck the makeup and all that
you
shit. The
care
system is
about
corrupt.
how you look more than like the necessities of life. At that point, please be using your looks for money at least. Damn. Please find a way to make some money from it. Don't just be cute and hungry.
Exactly. And I realized, I just want to say this before I start back. Most of the people who don't wear makeup, I feel like they're a scale of feminists. But ain't that, I like, there's nothing wrong with feminists to a certain extent. But all I'm saying is,
I'm not a feminist and I don't wear makeup.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I can tell, like, there's traits of it. Like, certain shit. Like, I'm labeling them ignorantly a fucking feminist because of the fact that she's a lesbian. She doesn't wear makeup. She obviously is conservative about her clothes and how she, dresses and shit like
And
that.
then the girl
and
in
then
the end
other
seems
two,
like a tomboy already.
yeah, she's definitely like, naturally beautiful and shit like that. But at the same time,
But they didn't really bring any like prissy women who are, I don't know if prissy's the word, but who don't wear makeup. Like
Love and hip hop type women, basically.
no.
Oh, you saying
like,
who don't wear makeup?
Yeah, like there's a lot of
Yeah, I get what
women
you're
out there
saying.
who will adorn themselves in like shells and bendies and just with their hairstyle and their clothes and not have makeup. Like a lot of natural, spiritual women, for lack of a better term, would do that.
I would say
You know what I'm saying?
creative women.
Okay, creative can work.
You don't have to
too.
be spiritual just to
But-
goddamn put some shit in your head, nigga.
I'm just saying, I know there's women who will adorn themselves with other things that isn't makeup, and their skin is amazing. And yeah, they didn't bring anybody like that. Is what I'm saying. They brought like a girl who's a lesbian, a girl who I don't know,
She
a
chilling.
girl in the middle.
And then the
She
girl in the
gothed or
middle,
what?
she's like,
I guess goth wouldn't be the word. They would have on hella makeup.
I just
but-
feel like she's super conservative
okay.
about something. Like a
That's
religion.
I used to, before we were boyfriend and girlfriend, I used to sleep in my makeup. It would be makeup all over this dude's pillows. So on Valentine's Day, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, I'm about to wash my face. I was like, I'm about to just take it all off and see what happens. And so I did that, and I'm like, still kind of trying to hide. But he saw me, and then after that, I'm just like, on FaceTime now, with no makeup, I'm just comfortable.
For me, it was kind of the opposite.
girl
When you're
and
a gay guy trying to get a boyfriend out there, most of the guys don't want a guy that's wearing makeup. So I would hide everything about me, like wearing makeup. When I was talking with my boyfriend at that time, I was trying to hide them, like my pictures on Instagram. I would literally delete them so he won't know that I was wearing makeup or into makeup. But then once I told him, he was like really accepting, and now like he actually helps me like film my YouTube videos. I asked him if it looked good, and he was like, "Oh my god, you look so bomb," and I'm like, yeah.
Chin ass.
I mean,
Oh my god, you're so mom.
I've heard of, that a lot. I have a lot of gay friends, and they definitely.
It's the act of
It was hard for them to find
blackfishing and all of that. I don't understand why people are doing it. They're blaming it on, no, I'm darker in the summer, I'm blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, you're literally using,
skin color
compared to your face, to your body, a whole different shade, different.
People's skin tones will change throughout the year depending on the weather and the amount of sun that they're in. But there's obviously a very sincere line. And when the issue of blackfishing comes into play, when people are presenting themselves as more
Blackfishing?
ethnically ambiguous because it's trendy,
catfish.
that's
Blackfishing.
When I was in high school, it was like a very white high school essentially, and I
Black
remember
face.
somebody like wrote a note to me that was supposed to be nice, and they said, "You have that beautiful tan skin that I long for." And I was like, "What is this white girl saying to me?" And I didn't even know how to react because I think it was meant to be a compliment. Like my skin is not like a commodity. Like my brownness is not up for you to take and claim as your own as you so please.
For what? They wrote you that?
That's interesting right there. What you
It's
think
so
about
crazy
the cultural
because
appropriation thing?
the white girls are doing their skin to look very tan, and then like the Kardashians, all of them, like we don't even know their skin complexion for real. And then like the
Because
black
they get that
girls,
shit sprayed on.
I don't know how they're doing it.
They
at this
do. I
point,
mean, that's got to be the way they're doing it, right? They get their whole body sprayed,
we
like
should
spray
look that
tan.
up. And then like black girls, especially dark skinned girls, are, as one of my friends say, just paint light. They be trying to paint real light to look light skin. It's so strange. And then don't even get me started with the skin bleaching. It's just weird how
yeah.
everybody wants to be the opposite of what they are. Like, nobody's accepting. I'm not gonna say nobody, but a lot of people.
Like the desert and like you're
Everybody
doing
want
like a warrior shoot,
abs.
it's just an example. They're obviously gonna like bronze you up and like airbrush you and make you look more tanner because they're not gonna want you like not look bronzy in the desert because that just kind of doesn't make sense.
When I do
I
my
always
makeup,
get
I
spray
be trying to
tans
look as
to
gold
be,
as possible.
better looking
Like
on
I already
camera
look.
as to just looking tan. And, when you're tan, you feel sexier, you look slimmer. But I think there's definitely a fine line between looking tan and then taking it to extreme to you don't even look like your race,
But I remember there was also a brand that They made a model look significantly darker because they had been asked to be like have more diversity, and instead of actually finding a darker skinned model, they made a lighter skinned person darker for this campaign.
A lot of the blackfishing examples that I've seen have been young girls.
This
The
is the
intent
real
for those
word,
girls
bruh.
comes back to the idea that they feel it's more like a psychological issue. I don't think their intent is I want to appropriate the skin color of a different race. I think it's just, man, for some reason right now in the media, the trend is to be darker skinned. I remember in the 2000s, the fair skinned, skinny girl look was in, and trends have just changed. So I believe girls have that idea that they just want to be that and be more accepted. If they do something wrong at all in the media nowadays, the backlash is they do not forgive that person. I just don't think that the dialogue is healthy or helpful and progressive for all people of different races to be united.
I think there was some commentary from like Asians and Asian Americans about like the fox eye trend. Even I feel like the name, make the eye shape that a lot of like Asians have. I definitely have heard people kind of be offended by that because they've been made fun of or been called racial slurs for being like whatever Asian form of Asian or Asian American they are.
I had surgery, obviously, on my face, FFS, facial feminization surgery, and I used to have really masculine, sad hooded eyes. And they did that fox lift on me to open up my eye and give me more of a feminine touch. So for me, it was, a stepping into my womanhood. And also it comes along great with the whole beauty of, the winged eyeliner and all of that, so.
Last time some random person commented on my pictures, and when like editorial models just post like this and pulling like their sides, someone was like, oh, can you stop imitating an Asian person? And I was like, I'm just posing like a regular person, but like, enhancing like the brow, the fox eye.
I don't think a lot of people have the intent when they do the fox eye, like how you were saying lifting, your intent was not to offend or appropriate Asian culture. If anything, you were doing it because you found it to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I think in a way it's not for me to take a stance on, like I am Asian, but I mean, remember Asia is like a big continent. So like I'm South Asian, I'm Pakistani. And so nobody has ever made fun of my eyes, thankfully. But if I was East Asian, it would feel more hurtful. I don't necessarily know what the answer is if it's offensive, but if somebody from that culture says that they are harmed by it, that it hurts them, that it makes them feel lesser, then I feel like that should be respected.
There is no harm in children using makeup.
What?
Well,
She the only person.
So the way that I interpreted this question was children doing their own makeup, not having it done by someone older or someone who's more experienced with it. I think that makeup within itself is a self-expression, and I feel that if a young boy or a young girl is drawn to that, then it should be supported and treated with like love and kindness and acceptance. I think it's totally fine.
I'm still over here looking at the map.
Liberating. I'm glad all
A
those
kid has conscious parents, maybe conscious friends, mentors, teachers around them, and they're just playing with makeup, and their intent is not simply to please others. I think it's completely fine. I've just noticed that doesn't tend to happen a lot of times in society.
I have 3 reasons why I disagree. The first one is, like I said, my mom putting the makeup on me as a child, and now you have this adult that feels like she has to be presentable all the time. That's a problem.
Yeah.
The second one is, causing acne. I don't even think that makeup causes acne, but if it's unnecessary and you don't know how to take care of your skin, then you can cause a problem. The third one is because of curves out here. I wouldn't want my little
skincare is
sister
important with
wearing makeup so young, because I wouldn't want her to attract the wrong attention.
That was basically mine too.
Yeah.
I would be so upset if my sister was younger and drawing that kind of attention with lashes and making herself just look more of a sexual object online.
Kids can use makeup as an art form too.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't say to just not introduce it.
Is there a certain age that you guys think it's appropriate for them to start wearing makeup?
I'll say puberty.
Well, I went through puberty at 10. I wouldn't recommend it for me.
I think like at 15 or 16 is like a good age because you're like becoming that woman. I used to work at Ulta, so there would be like little girls just coming in looking for foundation, and they were like 7 or 6. It was so weird because their parents were like letting them, but I mean, that's her kid. I'm no one to.
Right.
7 or 6 foundation.
As a kid, makeup came into play. Obviously, I was a little boy at the time. I had a very strict stepfather. It got beat for everything. So my mom was just like my icon, you know? So she'd be doing her red lipstick and getting ready for work. And she would leave and I would run and I'd get in front of her vanity and like I would put it all on. And then I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, I'm so everything. And then I would hear some footsteps coming down the hallway and I would book it to the restroom and I was trying to scrub it all off. I was never able to do it, obviously, as a kid. I guess I'm making up for all that time lost because there's not a day that goes by that I'm not glam.
Obviously, there's a line to which, like, the degree to which someone's doing their makeup. With girls going to Ulta and stuff, buying, like, real, like, adult makeup. Is that a thing? I don't know. As opposed to, like, play makeup, like Barbie makeup, stuff like that.
You have like a 6-year-old client for hair, and she has makeup palettes, like from the store, and she's 6. For a 6-year-old to have multiple, like, no.
And I feel like it's also more intense too, though, because like there's so many tutorials on YouTube of like how to do makeup. So these little girls are doing sickening makeup. Like, they are beat and powdered. And
It's like, dang, you did so good, but like,
take it off.
yeah, wear that in your room. Like,
You look sickening. Yeah, go wash it off.
you did so good. But
There is such a thing as too much makeup.
I was never allowed to wear makeup until high school and only for cheerleading.
For me, honestly, putting any amount of makeup on my face is too much. But I know for all of you 3, you guys enjoy it so much. And so what's too much to me is by no means too much to you guys, at the point where you start to not look like yourself. Excessive contouring, or girls literally look like they're changing the bone structure of their face. Like, that's talent, but like also that's not you.
there's this girl on TikTok who is a bad influence.
I'm just going to stop right here because it's just so interesting how she is blatantly the opposite of this right here. You get what I'm saying? And it's like she's literally trying every way possible to not offend him. What?
The transgender.
Her. Her.
Her.
So it's just coming off like I feel like she could be making 10 times more like greater points so she could actually say what she wanted to. Like even the way she started off just then, she was just basically trying to say like, yeah, if you get to a point to where you start looking like you're not yourself, it's just a great contradiction because this person right here is the definition of somebody who don't give a fuck about what they naturally are.
Right.
And she is the definition of somebody who stands by what they fucking naturally are.
Born with, yeah.
And it's just like the world is basically geared towards people. Both there's a balance, yeah, people being who they really are and then people who being not. So be who you really are, bro. That's my opinion. But obviously she's living in a world where also she lives in a liberal world. So she believes that, okay, like, you could do what the fuck you want to do. You can wear makeup, you could get surgery and all that shit. But I personally believe this, and I don't believe I should get makeup. I don't believe that, you feel me, I should be getting surgeries and shit like that. Just because I have to love who I am on the inside. So it's just like,
that's why I'm feeling like pulled to her. Because I feel like it's really genuine that she really,
in a world that we live in, she is a warrior in a way, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy.
Is it the one with the pouring and pouring and pouring?
She pours foundation on her face, pours it, and then rubs it in. But her outcome is a normal. Yeah, it's a normal outcome.
And I actually saw a TikTok of someone actually trying it, and she kind of washed off her face after and redid her normal face.
But the everyday person is going to go out and dump the foundation on, rub it in, and then go on about their day and look crazy.
I think it also plays into like being taken seriously. Like if you're going for a job interview or anything, like sometimes you need to step in and be like, hey sis, you're doing your thing, but that's too much.
Yeah.
Like it's way out of line.
Like I'm a soccer trainer, So when I had my interview, they told me to show up in soccer clothes because I had to like run through some drills and stuff. If I looked like any of you guys, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, but obviously, like if you guys are applying to work at like Sephora or Ulta, like they want to see you know how to do this.
Yeah. But I would have never.
Every person has the agency to decide what is too much or not enough. When I'm wearing a full face of makeup, I never wear foundation. I only wear concealer. But like 10 years ago when I thought I had to wear more makeup, like a foundation was like my full face. I think it's okay if it's kind of a moving needle for what you prefer as too much or not enough, and people can give you their opinion, but it's ultimately your choice to make.
People have their own reasons for wearing too much. Some people do it to troll, you know, like probably that girl that you were mentioning on TikTok just pouring on foundation. She's probably doing it just to be a troll and just to be funny, and that can be funny. I probably wouldn't think it looks good, but I don't think it's too much makeup if it sits right with them and they're doing it to get their laughs out or it actually feels good to them. Hey, you know, wear all the makeup in the world, you know?
I think we're triggered because we're artists in our craft and it's our job.
Yeah.
You know, if you're wearing makeup, we're gonna critique it. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna look at it and we're gonna look at what we would have done differently. So when we see other people doing this, it's like, oh no, that's too much.
How would you respond, or how have you responded when people give you feedback about your makeup? Like, oh, it's too much, or like, this is too extra, or something like that?
I just tell them to go fuck themselves.
No, seriously, I have two sets of siblings. A group that wears makeup and a group that completely doesn't. I get harassed by the one that doesn't all the time. My brothers, they tell me I wear too much. My sister, she's like, you got on all that makeup. Even down to now, my nieces and nephews comment on it. We're like, why does it matter to you guys? Like, what are we doing to you?
Yeah, I feel like mostly it's people that don't wear makeup that are like, oh my god, you're wearing too much makeup, or just have something to find to fix.
For someone to sit there and, you know, basically say like they're against makeup and they don't have to wear makeup because they're just naturally, you know, gorge or whatever. It's actually a blessing in disguise for them because out there in the world, there's, you know, people that have their face burned. There's people that have scars. There's people that have blemishes and all kinds of crazy things, and they don't have a choice. Maybe if they don't want to wear makeup, but they have to put makeup on to be presented and accepted by society.
Even with skincare, if I went to that side of the argument, it's a lot of privilege to have the knowledge to do skincare, to have the money and resources to do that.
I used to have, and I still have, like really painful hormonal cystic acne, and I've spent probably thousands of dollars on like laser treatment, like scarring, IPL, and my mom is in that business, so I'm able to like get it at a discounted rate, but literally like thousands of dollars, hours like driving, I don't even have a car, taking a bus down to where she lives. I was asking her like, when will those treatments end? And she was like, maybe never, like maybe for the rest of your life, if you want your skin to be clear. Like, this is what it takes. And not everybody can access that or even wants to.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Wow.
Well, any final remarks? I just want to say for my final remark, because I already know you got something to say too. The final remark I want to say is love yourself no matter what. Loving yourself no matter what. I don't give it. You might think I'm wrong. You might have your own opinion, but you can never love your inside if you don't love your outside. I don't give a fuck what that is, because your outside is a reflection of what has happened to you in the past. Even if you get stabbed and you heal and then you feel me, the wound goes away over time. You can still find a trace of that shit in your skin somewhere. You get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that shit happened to you and it's a part of you for a reason. And as long as you sit right here and denying the fact that there's a big connection between the outside and the inside, then you're denying the actual inside. So I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I love everybody for who they are and what they present to me, but at the same time, bro, like, don't deceive people. And I know it's not about deceiving people, but it's like, if you got a natural, beautiful woman, right? And then you got somebody who portrays themselves as a natural, beautiful woman. That's weird. You're not even being yourself no more. You're not even trying to portray yourself as a natural, beautiful being or whatever you want to be presented. You just trying to copy or be as close as to somebody else as you can, and that will never, like, I don't see how that could be perceived as being genuine in any way, honestly. But or brave. That's not brave at all. I mean, it's brave because people who really see past the shit, they gonna say something. Like she said, her little niece said something to her. Her grandparents say something to her, bro. Like, those are the people who relatively not even like stuck in the same paradigm as you, so they can think outside of the box. And you completely just see it as, why you worry about me? And it's just because we live in such you know, a mentally extreme. You got to be extreme about something just for you to be recognized. Basically, you got to do something crazy as fuck just for you to be recognized in today's world, because the attention is so scattered everywhere. So people are doing that shit, and whether they accept it or not, it's all for attention. And that's not gonna last long. What you got to say, babe?
Nothing. I pretty much agree with love yourself, accept who you are, embrace who you are.
You ain't got no
Because
stories
if
about
all this shit
Roxborough?
shut down, you can't get your makeup. What you gonna do?
Go outside.
They gonna
in the
make
dirt.
it. Yeah. No, I don't have no stories about Roxborough.
Well then, with that being said, this has been.
What?
Say it. Say it, man.
CGT REAXX.
This has been CGT REAXX to Middle Ground. Is there such thing as too much makeup? Featuring Zen knocking on the door. I'm gonna try to edit that out, but you know how that goes.
No.
With that being said, y'all